perfect. I'll be the first one to admit it. You know, I just want to talk about why I think of this, because of my childhood, growing up and going to school, and becoming an adult. So, childhood, does everybody remember the song, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da? That's the Addams Family. Well, my family was worse functional than the Addams Family. And that was a big part of me growing up. Alcohol, drugs, other crimes was part of my family. So this made me change. I had to break that chain. And how I broke it is I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. I do drive fast, but I have to admit it, that's the place. I was an awkward child. You know, my mom brought me to a beauty contest at the CNIB, which is Canadian National Institute for Blind, and I got first place. That's how I felt. But the thing is I was always put down. Didn't matter it was my mother, my father, even teachers. I had a teacher tell me, she told me, she says, you'll never grow up to be anything. Can you imagine that when you're in grade 3 and hearing that? So then I went and I was always loved math. I was, you know, you ever, you know, when math equations pop in your head when I was younger and, you know, what's 2 times 2? And I've got my hand up. But the problem was, I had got into a situation and I didn't know until I was 35 years old what happened. One day, and that's why I don't touch alcohol, my father was totally drunk. I woke up, my dog growled. That's why I love German Shepherds, trust me, they're my guardian angel. And my father had a loaded rifle pointed at my head. And it was loaded. And I came up after that, my math went down. And a lot of my schooling, you know, my grades just took a huge drop. Every teacher came up, except for one, made comment, oh, he's a slow learner, he's this and that. Then one time I was watching TV, and all of a sudden I went, oh my Lord. It was a documentary on PTSD, and that was a cause of my learning difficulty. When you have such a traumatic event, especially so young in your life, it's like, if you're under pressure, what do? Ah, and that was me. I had test anxiety. It took a long time for me to get that sorted out. And the problem was, I am not a Hemingway, okay? I'll be the first one in a minute. But the reason why is, now God bless Mrs. Thing. She came up to me and says, Terry, this is in grade 12. Imagine 12 years in the school system. In grade 12, he goes, Terry, I want you to come into my room. So I went in the room after class, and all of a sudden she says, I want you to start talking. So I started talking, and all of a sudden she goes, are you German, or your parents? I said, yes. Well, you speak English in a German context. So that was a huge thing. And for me, my mother, trust me, she sounds like Elmer Fudd on acid when she talks English. It is the worst thing, you know? And in her dialect in Germany, it's called Schwabisch. And I call it a Newfie German. Because it is very, like, unless you're in the centralized region, you cannot understand it. So that was a huge thing. So my mom would speak English in a German context. I'm in home, I'm hearing all this around me. Then all of a sudden I'm going, oh, geez, I am saying a lot of things wrong. So one of the things that I found out is after grade 12, I had to re-educate myself. So that was the one thing. So I studied hard, I read books, how I can get this PTSD so I can start learning in school. So I went to school, went to state, went to university, and all this stuff. And yes, I told the teacher I'm an engineer. After 20 years, she goes, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm an engineer. She was like, shocked. But here's the best part, and this is where my Toastmasters story comes into play. I got asked to do a presentation in front of 500 engineers, and everybody was around, had my projector, had all my things and everything, and walked up there, didn't have a good day that day before, put my thing down. First one came great. Second one, not so great, because everything fell on the floor. So guess what I said? F it. So I walked off the stage. In front of 500 people, I said, that's it. We all have three things: fight, flight, and freeze. I froze on stage, I fly off that thing. So I liked a bit of a fight. So I went up, walking down the street in Cochrane. Well, I said, oh, Toastmasters Club. Oh, I like breakfast, I'll go check them out. I thought it was a public speaking club. Well, I was Toastmasters poster child. If you want to be not like this gentleman here, come to Toastmasters. I was horrified of doing my presentations. My icebreaker, 5 pages, 2 minutes. I would, see you later, bye, go to my table. So, I went up, after that thing, I had the froze, everything, I went 30 presentations later, 30. I was in front of a PIA, 1,000 people, I made a presentation. I got commendable for my presentation. Went up there, cut jokes, everything. I forgot the past. So, finally, I'm back home, okay? After 15-year hiatus, I went up and I said, you know what? I'm gonna come back to Toastmasters. I need it. It's not for public presentations, far from it. It increases, one thing it does, it increases your self-esteem. You come here, you do a presentation, does anybody boo here? Anybody's presentation? No, it's all positive, right? It's valuable skill set. When you get pulled over by the police, you have an introduction of body inclusion. Geez, officer, I didn't know I was going that fast. This is the reason why. Could you please reduce my ticket? You have that logical sequence. And one thing, it's a tool for life. It doesn't matter on your skill set, way you present. It's something that you could always have and never forget. I did a presentation 3 years ago, even not with Toastmasters. I went up, it was 500 people. Yeah, I went up there stage, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. And that's what happened. So, if I could survive making a public presentation, this is to our guests and everybody else, you should have no problem doing this. So that is my story.